Hi, this is Tina from Rehatch Designs, and I'm here today just to make a video on how to make little slides. I made a few slides that are pretty easy to make and pretty straightforward, but it just takes a few little things to do it, and it's kind of fun, and they turn out, I think, pretty cool. So anyway, what you're going to need first of all is you need just some cardstock, and I wouldn't use just like copy paper weight. I mean, you probably need it just, it doesn't have to be super thick, but just some, medium weight cardstock. And they need to be 5.5 by 2.5. You need little squares. This is for my punch. Okay, now I have a punch that I guess this is 1 inch or 2 inch. I'm sorry. This is a 2-inch punch. So I don't know. It might be different. Well, this may not be 2 inches. It may be 1.5. Let's see. That's 1 inch. Huh. Okay, so it's 1 3/4 square, but any square punch, and it actually doesn't even have to be a square punch. It could be a round punch. It could be any size that you want to use. Anything that you can find that you have that you want to use. I just happen to have this one, and I was going to buy a die to make slides, and I just thought, and you also don't have to use a punch either. You could use, if you have a die cut that you want to use, you can use that. It's harder with a die cut because you have to cut the square or circle, whatever, the same. You would have to like put your die down and then cut it out and then move it to the next side and make sure you line it up. And that's why I thought a punch works better. And basically, I just picked out papers that I thought I would want to, have on the journal that I'm working on. Let's see, I have some more over here too. This is just a plain craft paper. You can make it with that. Now, I did some like this where I put fresh flowers in them and laminated them, but and I used just craft paper, and that was for like a nature journal, and then put specimen on there or whatever. For these, I'm going to make them, actually this is for my boho journal, and I'm going to make them just different colors and things that I think would go well in the journal. So I'm going to try that and then just see. But anyway, I cut mine to 2.5 by 5.5. Like I said, depending upon the size of your punch, you are just going to have to play with it and figure out what sizes work for you. This works for me. And anyway, I basically just took my square and folded it in half. And that what I do, I don't know if I'll be able, if it's really thick, then I have to actually put it on the ground and step on it because it doesn't. And I put some little lines here in the back just so that I could see that it was lined up, so it wasn't over to one side or the other. And I just made sure it went down all the way as far as it could go. And like I said, I may have to step on it because I've had to do that on the other ones, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I put it on the ground and step on it, and honestly, it was easier for me to punch that way than to try and stand up and, oh, it's not going. There we go. I think it's because this isn't really a thick punch. It's made just for, one pass of. Where'd my paper go? Did it fall out? Okay, it's stuck in there. That's why I have my tweezers too. All right, so that's what it makes. It makes one side a little bit bigger than the other, and to me that's how a slide looks. Now obviously you could do a smaller square, you could do a circle, you could do whatever you want to do, but by cutting them both at the same time, you're not trying to line them up. See, the problem with if you use a die cut is you would have to unless you have two, but even then you still have to line up your die and then run it through and then line it up on the other side, and they have to turn out exact, which I don't know. I tried it and I was not good at it. You may be great at it. Anyway, save these because there's always good things we can use that for. But anyway, so you do that. What I did, where did my pictures go? Oh, they're back here. Okay. I took just regular tracing paper. This isn't even vellum. And I just ran off. This was a whole sheet. And I got these images on Pinterest. These are all black and white. Or sepia. And I kind of wanted them that way because I want it to look old. But you can do color. It doesn't have to be black and white. That's just what I picked for what I'm doing. Anyway, so I just took some images. And obviously these are bigger than what I need, but you just kind of have to see. I like the idea. I would just kind of got an idea. It would fit in there pretty well. This is curling up, but it'll uncurl in a minute. So just print out your images on vellum, and you don't have to cut them perfectly to shape, but just kind of get them kind of ready to go. I didn't actually cut off the last piece, when I got it in there until I already had it glued in there, just because I didn't want to cut it too short, and I also wanted to be able to handle it. So just kind of trim it. I always make sure I have the width right, and it doesn't have to be perfect because you won't see that, but you do want to get it to where, don't trim it too short because you have to have enough in there to hold it in. And here's the thing, I was going to do this and just glue the vellum in and call it a day. But then, you can see through that, but it just didn't seem, I wanted it to look like a negative. Obviously, that's what we're trying to do, but you couldn't see through it enough. So I decided to take it a step further, okay? So anyway, what I decided to do, I'm going to put this aside for a minute because we don't need it yet, is I decided I was going to put wax on this, just because when you put wax on paper, even if it's just copy paper, it'll make it translucent. But if you start out with vellum or tracing paper, it makes it very transparent. So anyway, I bought this giant bag that I got, which I don't know, it's going to last me forever, but I do use it. And I got the pellets, and if y'all have watched me before, I have the sticks that I melt. I don't know. I think both ways work easy. It's not hard. But I have my glass mat here, and this is how I did it. I just took a handful of them. It doesn't take much, okay? And I put these down like this. That's probably too much. I'll just put some over here. That's really too much. But anyway, I just went ahead and put some down. I have my iron. Got to heat it up. I didn't heat it up yet. But all you're going to do, and you can do this with the stick beeswax and your heat tool if you don't want to use an iron. I thought I had a travel iron that I was going to use, and I could not find it. So I think maybe I probably gave it to one of my boys or something at some point, and you know how that goes. There's always something that I don't have because I gave it away at some point. But anyway, and they probably don't ever use it either. So I'm going to use, this is just an extra old iron that I have. You don't want to use an iron that you're going to use on your clothes later because it will get wax in it. But anyway, it's probably warm enough. Okay, so I'm just going to melt this wax, and it doesn't take much to melt it. Okay, it's already melted, okay? And I'm going to put this down on the wax and go like that. And it'll get on both sides, but I always turn it over anyway, just to make sure it's nice and clean, nice film. Just a thin film really is all you need. And it dries really quick. So it started to dry on the back. Let me kind of see if I can get that. All right, there we go. It's a little messed up. Okay, there we go. Anyway, now I don't know if you can tell. Got a little spot right there. You can just keep reheating it till you get it perfect, but I don't know if you can tell how translucent that is, but it makes it very translucent. Okay, and it, you know, it already was, but see, now you can see my hand through there. Before you couldn't do that. Let me show you the other one. Even though you could see it, but not as much as you can with the wax on there. Okay, and now here, oh, I got a hair there. We don't want that in there. I'm going to just go over it one more time, make sure it's nice and smooth. And what this does really is it just makes it completely see-through. So, and we're going to let it dry. It dries in a matter of seconds. Okay, so now this thing is completely see-through. And it's not sticky. If you've never worked with beeswax, it's great. It just dries completely. It's a great way to seal a journal. I love it. I just really do. I use it a lot. So anyway, after that, take your cutout and let's see. What did I do with my ink? Okay, here we go. I took my ink because I wanted it to look a little, you know, not new. And I just kind of inked it a little bit. And you want to do this, you can do it after on the outside, but on the inside, if you want to ink it, you kind of have to do it now. So I just did that a little bit. You know, you don't have to, obviously. But, so I did that. Okay, so then I just used art glitter glue. That's all it takes. And I kind of put the glue on the bottom portion. And see, this is already dry. And it's easy to scrape off of here. And you can reheat it if you want to. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to just put some glue around one side, and I'm going to position it, and then after I do that I'll put glue on the other side. So I'm just going to put this where I want it, and so I can look on the other side. I don't cut off the bottom. I just wait till after I get it the way that I want it. Okay, that looks good to me. Like a little tiny bit of glue or something there. Oh, I guess that's wax. Okay. Alright, so now that I have it where I want it, it did have some glue on the other end. I'm going to just put glue on the other side. It doesn't take much. And the art glitter glue does fine with the vellum or tracing paper. Alright, so anyway, so then you just push it down. And then I just take it and trim it off. I mean, and it doesn't have to be a picture of people. Obviously, it could be buildings. It could be, you know, insects. It could be anything. But anyway, that way you have this really cool looking slide, and you can see right through it. You really can. So to me, I mean, it looks like a slide. And it, like I said, you can do just the vellum and not go this extra, you know, with the wax, but I think it looks cool. I think it just really does. Makes it a little bit stiffer too, you know. So anyway, after that, what I did is you may want to decorate these up. Like, let's see, you could put, and that's part of the reason why I put the bigger, one side bigger. Is first I thought to me a slide kind of looks like that, and really they're rounded. If you wanted to round these, you could round the corners on them. You know, it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to leave it square, I don't know, I haven't rounded one yet, but let me see. We could do that one. Oh, we'll do the next one. We'll round it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole. Let me see which way do I want it. Which side? I don't know. They look pretty good on both, but I'm going to go ahead and put this about right here. And I like to just put an eyelet in there. I think I'll put a gold one because we have gold in there, huh? Just to make it look kind of cool, but let's see. And again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. I mean, it's just something that you may want to do just because. All right, so we have an eyelet in there. And then you may want to take like a bulb pen or something. And let's just say, I don't know, we could put some beads on there. I have a dangle over here. I could put that on. All right. I really don't want to untwist that, but I will if I have to. Let me get a different color. Let me try this. Okay. Let's say you want to put that on with it. Maybe a little bit of lace. I just had the scissors. Oh, there they are. Put a little bit of lace on there. A little trim. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. You just do it to taste. And let's see. You can decorate it up any way you want, but if you do that, then you can just pin this in your journal. There you go. So you've made your little slide, okay, and you can see right through it, so it's really kind of cool. You know, if you're making it like for a specimen journal, you know, you can maybe put you know, specimen or something on top. You could like I used my typewriters on the other one to put that on there and do something like that. Now, I sewed around the other ones I did. You don't have to do that, obviously. It gives it kind of a different look. But then again, you know, I've done it both ways. So let's just do another one. Oops, almost burned myself with my iron. We could do that with the purple. It's super easy. And don't be intimidated by the beeswax. Honestly, it's worth getting it. You don't have to buy as much as whenever I buy things, I just some reason I buy a lot. I don't know. Okay, so this is 2.5 by 5.5 with my, I guess it's 2 3/4 punch. That's just kind of weird. You would think it would be a 2-inch punch. It doesn't say anywhere on here what kind of punch it is. I've had this forever, so I wouldn't even begin to tell you where I got it either. No clue where I bought it. Probably Hobby Lobby, I bet. Hobby Lobby was the closest to us at our other house, so I'm thinking I probably bought it on sale. Okay, so the big thing is you want to make sure when you get it, you get it even. If not, I mean, you can trim it, and that's why I used my bone folder. So, and my thing for me, the reason I step on it is it's just easier for me than trying to stand up and push. If you just do one through there, it's no big deal. But I tried just punching one side and then doing the other side and making sure I lined it up perfect. That just didn't work for me. So, and they do make punches now for, thicker stuff. So if you buy one, I would spend a little bit more and get that. I have my tweezers here. And I put these two lines there just so that I could make sure that each side was lined up and it wasn't crooked. But you can kind of see that. You don't have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just step on this again. Excuse me. Y'all know how to do a punch, so I don't think you're missing anything. There we go. Just easier for me to do it that way. And like I said, save these because you'll use them at some point. And this is why I had my tweezers too. Get it out of there so I don't have to mess with it. Okay. Now see, that one I did, it was over on one side too much. But that's okay because you can just take it, either trim it with your scissors. See, I didn't have it even. This side's wider than that. Sometimes it'll be a little bit, but you can usually fix it. And I'm just guessing here. It's just a very small amount. There we go. Yeah, so that'll make it even. So then it'll work better. Okay, so you're going to just do basically the same thing. You can't really even tell the difference, but sometimes that'll happen if it does move over a little bit, especially when I'm stepping on the floor, but it's still better. And like I said, you can use a die cut, except you do have to line up your two sides, and you can do that. If you want to be meticulous and do that, then fine. I just happen to have this. See, it's a little crooked on that side, so now I have to trim it. I think I probably just folded it crooked, really, is probably what happened. Okay. But it's fixable. It's only paper. So, anyway, the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to ink this up. And the only thing is you just want to make sure you pick out pictures that will fit in there, look good, and I printed some out at first and they were either too big or too small, and of course you can size them to whatever you want. But I found these and they were perfect for what I wanted, so what's cool is you can make them any subject you want. So, and you could do these just white and have them look very much like a slide instead of the okay, so where'd my other picture go? Here it is. Okay, so here's one here that I'm going to use, and like I said, you can see through it, and you could do that. I mean, you could just say, okay, I don't want to do the beeswax, but I was just looking at it thinking, well, how could I make it look more see-through? See, I mean, if you do it just with that, it's kind of cool. So, I mean, you could just skip this whole other part, but anyway, I thought it was easy enough. It didn't bother me, so I already had all the stuff. So, and when I do stuff, I like to try different things, so I don't like to get in a rut. Okay, so in my iron, of course it went off again. Heat it up a little. So the one thing too that I kind of was watching when I did this is just making sure that you have a pretty decent image on your printer. And then also when it comes off, just your inkjet printer will print these, but you can't touch them for a little while. You've got to kind of let them, let them dry. But once they're dry, and it doesn't, the wax doesn't mess up the image or anything. Okay, so it doesn't take much. We're just going to put that there, and it'll already be melted. Okay, and then I just put, let me melt it a little bit more. I just put the image down in it, and I go over it. And there'll already be wax on the other side, but I just go ahead and peel it up. Okay, the bottom got a little yucky, so I'm going to go over that. That's all you do. If it doesn't look right, you just pick it up. Okay, there you go. So now it's like completely see-through now. So you have just a completely transparent image. You see my fingers through there? So it's just completely, I probably should have done like a lighter or something so that y'all could see it. Anyway, then you take, that's going to be way too big, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it at first. And I just wait till after I, get my image ready. Like, see, that's going to go right there like that. It fits on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my glue in there. And then I put my glue on one side. I mean, you could put the glue on both sides, but I just figure I'll wait and get this in here. I'm going to move that down because I don't want her head down so low. Alright, now that I've positioned that, I'm going to go ahead, and you do need a good glue because the vellum or tracing paper takes a better glue to glue down, but also once you put the wax on, it's just a little slippery. So now see, that's a little bit too big on that side. I need to cut that. I don't want to cut the thing underneath it. Alright, there we go. Get that off of there. You don't want extra glue. And I always, like I said, I always cut the bottom after I get it all glued in. But I mean, you can cut it ahead. No rule says you can't. To me, it's just easy. All right, there we go. And that side needs to be trimmed just a tiny bit. All right. Now, if you were going to sew around it, now would be the time to do that. I'm going to make a few more, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew them, and I'll show you how they turn out. Now, also, too, if you wanted to put something around this, like, for instance, like on this one, let's just say we wanted to take our Inca Gold or whatever. Now, see, this one I really can't sew around because I already put that in. But I don't know where that is. Here, I'll do it on the next one. I'm going to do it on the next one. We'll save this and we'll go ahead and sew around it. Let's see. What other paper? Oh, I have this one. And I took this out here just to... cutting, I don't need it. It takes up a lot of room. Okay. Let's try the purple one. So, anyway, I'm going to see if I can get it straighter this time. And I did cut all of these with my trimmer just because there's no way I could cut a straight line all the way around. All right, so there, put that in there. And see, I didn't line it up, or probably when I put it on the ground it moved, so. All right, here we go. I'm going to cut two of them at the same time, I think will be easier. Just do them kind of assembly line. Okay, this has a problem right there, it looks like a little extra. And you know, one thing too is this is a great way to use your 6x6 or, you know, any of your paper pads that you don't use or your scraps, because these pieces are, you know, they're small pieces. So go through and figure out what you want to use. And like I said, if you want to just do them white or, you know, whatever, you certainly can, but okay, that looks straight. It's not down all the way. All right. Anyway, like I said, whatever punch you have, I have a smaller square punch, but it's a punch around the circle thing, or punch around the paper, and it moves a lot of times, and I just didn't want to mess with that. And this really kind of was the size I wanted. See, so those two turned out really well. I'm gonna do one more with like a script or something like that. I have this paper right here just to kind of do something a little bit more plain. So it's, now you got to remember that if you want it up, then the 5.5 part has to be the long part. So that would have to be here. So let me move that. 5.5. Okay, and then it's going to be about 2.5. So and like I said, you can change these dimensions. This is just what I used. So all right, I'm going to do this one. I just want to see how it would look with that too, just so you can see it, you know, and kind of plain. Anyway, just go through your scraps and do a bunch of these, and once they're all cut up, it's really easy. And then I honestly, the wax part's really easy too. Okay, so this will be the last one, and then we'll put them all, we're going to do them all kind of everything at the same time, so that way we're kind of doing them assembly line. I'm just using this to make sure it's all the way down in there, and see, I can tell this is over just a little bit too much. Go all the way down. There we go. All right. And you know, I guess you could use, you know, copy paper or something, but I just don't think it, I don't know. It doesn't, it's not going to hold up if you put a eyelet and stuff in there, I don't think. Well, this one doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay, well, we have 3 and they turned out good. So I am going to ink all of these up before I put them together. I mean, and that's only really if you want to do the inside. If you don't, then it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to kind of do this a little bit. I do both sides because I kind of think this might be something that kind of hangs in your journal so people would see it from both sides. Right? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. And you could take this a step further and put it in between, like, you know, transparency sheets or something like that, and then sew it. But I don't know. I thought this was pretty cool because when you do the wax, it does become kind of stiff. It doesn't really feel like paper anymore. And honestly, people that have never done the beeswax, they think it's sticky and it melts or something. None of those things are true. That's how they used to seal books and stuff, you know, before. It's actually, and it works great. So do this last one. So anyway, I just thought this was kind of a cool way to add some interest. But it was kind of funny because I did it and I went, oh, you know what? I don't know. I just wish it was more see-through than that. Now, I don't know. Maybe some vellums are very see-through and you're happy with that. But if you want to have it even a little more than it is, the wax will do that. Okay. All right, so now I am just going to take my pictures, and I don't know which pictures they're going to be. Let's see. I like that one and that one. Oh, I guess I'll go those 2 for sure. And I'm actually just going to leave them together until I'm ready to put them in. And then, I don't know, I think I'm going to do the one on the bottom. Alright. So this time, I'm going to take a little bit more wax because I'm going to do all 3. It doesn't need to be a lot. There's already wax on here from the last ones, and it'll just, like, you know, it'll just remelt. So anyway, do I have an extra picture in here? Maybe I do. Oh, those 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, turn my iron on again, heat it up. Okay, let's see. No, it's not quite hot yet. It will get there quickly. Yep, see? It doesn't take much to melt this wax. So I'm going to put these 2 in and go over it. And there's wax already on the other side. I hope you can see. See what it does? How transparent it makes it? Move it down a little bit. I mean, technically, I guess you could do the whole sheet if you were going to do them all. And just do them all at the same time. You wouldn't have to, you know, do them separately. Okay. Make sure it's all melted on there and it's not squished up. Okay, that turned out pretty good, except there's a little hair on top. Get off of there. Oh boy. Seriously? Probably not even going to see that. Okay. Oh, I've got a couple drips. Got to put it back through. See if it does turn out drippy or something, just put it down there again. It'll just remelt it. And you want to try not to touch the part that you're going to put in your slide, because it'll leave a fingerprint. Yeah, that one turned out good. Okay. So you just kind of want to hold it for a second because, okay, there's a little spot down here I got to fix. See, did it turn out okay now? Yeah, it did. Okay. So, there we go. It doesn't take but a few seconds to dry. So that's completely dry now. So we can handle it, okay? So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this just with the wax that's left over. Okay, because there's enough wax over here. I don't have to put any more down. And I'm going to put that down. Okay, and there is wax already on both sides. And I'm going to just put it right here just to get a little bit more. Okay, see? It's completely see-through. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, I'm going to put that aside for a second and turn this off. Alright, so the next part's just super easy. We're just going to take our slides. Let's see which one I'm going to put you in. I think I'm going to put you in this one. Just put your glue. Like I said, you can put the glue on both sides if you're fairly confident you're gonna. See, I gotta cut that a little bit. Get that glue off of there. Well, I should have cut it more before I put it down. It was very crooked. Uh-oh. That glue will come off. Oop, her head's under there. I don't want that. There we go. That's why I don't do the other side, because if it takes me longer, then... Alright, there we go. That one took a little bit longer. Kind of want that a little bit lower, so that way her cup is in the picture here. My glue already dried. That's why I don't do the whole thing. Okay. I think there's some up here that didn't get glued down too. Might as well glue the whole thing again. Alright, now I gotta do this part. Alright. Got a tiny bit of glue on there. Good thing with the wax, it just comes right off. Alright, there we go. Do we have any on the back? Alright, so that's one. I still can't get over how cool that looks when you're done. Alright, let me do the next two. Should be easy. Oh, that should be off. Well, okay. So let me cut those. Do that. I think I'm going to put her in here. good right there. Anyway, so I'm sure you can realize you can put birds in there and, you know, whatever else. I'm putting people because that's kind of my focus in this journal. But, you know, you could use any paper, any pictures, whatever it is you want to do. So that one. And then this one's going to go in here. I don't know why I did the bottom. That was silly. Anyway, I just think this is a fun thing to do. A little outside the box from our ordinary stuff. When I do a journal, I like to have, you know, some very individual things in there that are one of a kind and that kind of deal. And this allows you to do that because you're personalizing it to whatever. I mean, if you're using a kit and you want to use the papers, just print it out on just heavier cardstock. I mean, it just is a cool thing because. Okay. So here are our ones that we just did, and I'm going to go ahead and sew around those real quick, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you what they look like when they're sewn around and just see how cool they look, you know. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and sewed them. So here we go. You can see these. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's the other gold one that we did earlier. So that one, and see, that looks, I think it looks pretty cool even without any sewing or anything on it. But anyway, guys, what I would do is after this, I probably would just go ahead and punch a hole. I didn't do my sewing machine kind of messed up a little bit up there, but that's okay. Oh, where's my little pokey thing? These things always get clogged up. Okay. And I would just probably do this in the corner. That's going through the thread anyway. Where's my other scissors? There they are. I don't know if there's really a right way or wrong way. You can really see on both sides, so do that. I can't really tell on this one either, so alright, so anyway, at this point we've already inked around them and everything, but if you wanted to, and I probably won't do this on all of them, let's say you wanted to add like this gold rush. This is the metallic luster. It's just the rub-on stuff, and maybe just put, of course mine's already dry, so I need to put some water in there. Just kind of, I mean, you don't have to do this. This is just, you know, an extra step if you want to. Seems like for this journal I'm rubbing gold on everything. All right, there we go. Let's say we want to do it on, definitely needs water in there though, I can tell you that. It's very, very dry. Okay. Put a little bit more down here. There we go. Let's say we put it on this one. And on this one, I don't know, I think I'm going to do something different. Okay, on this, I think I'm going to do the copper a little bit. It's a little bright. I'm going to have to put some vintage photo over that. Oh, it got on that thing. I need a wipe over here. I've got to go to the store and get wipes completely out of them, which I normally never am completely out, but I don't go to the store that often anymore, so it just seems like every time I go, I get back, I forget something, and I'm like, oh, you know, you feel like you're risking your life every time you go. It's like, oh God, I got to do it again. I was doing a lot of online ordering, and I just quit doing that because I don't know. I was not good at it, because like I thought I would like order a bunch of bananas, you know, and so I put 4. Well, it was 4 bunches, so I had 4 big bunches of bananas, and what am I going to do with all that? So anyway, let's just, all right, this is the darker silver. I'm going to try that. Yeah, I like that. I could mix it with the other silver maybe. Try not to get it on the actual picture with my hands all messed up. I like to mix the darker color with the silver, because for some reason it just, to me, I don't know, it just looks better, looks more aged. And on the gold and the copper, I just take my vintage photo, I'll show you, or walnut, whatever it is you're using, and I'll just go back over it and do like that a little bit, just to make it look a little older, you know, like it's been around for a little while. Looks like I got to re-ink over there. Well, this one looks pretty good, I think, already. Okay, so then after that, I would just put my eyelets in there, and then let's see, I think this one, I'm gonna have to put, I'm gonna put a, where'd it go? A brass one. Put that in there. And of course, again, this is all optional. You don't have to even do this part. I mean, this is just something if you want to do it. Here's a copper one. I don't want the shiny copper. Yeah, that's what I want right there. Oh, I didn't do that one very good, did I? Oh, I have it on the wrong thing. Probably. I don't know. Shoot. Alright. There we go. That really messed messed up. I have to pull it out. I think I just didn't have it lined up on there right. There we go. Yeah. And then a silver one, but I don't want shiny silver. You know how it is when you find stuff and you see it all the time, and then right when you want something you can't find it? Okay. Yeah, here we go. And then you can't pick it up. Just so get in there. Make sure I get it on there right. There we go. Good. And then this one needs to be gold. Oh, it's copper or brass. Brass will look good. Let me see. Boy, should not be that hard. Okay, so then after you do that, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. And I mean, you can put anything you want on there, obviously, but let's see. I have some little charms to put on there, so might as well do it. Okay. Let's just do, let's see, we'll do this one. What color do we want there? I mean, you can put, obviously, all kinds of stuff on there. It's not any... I like to put lace and little baubles and charms and things. And let's see, and I actually want it to go the other way. And put that on there. And put that on there. It's too big, really. All right. So that could be that. Just depends. Let's see, we could do this one with the purple would be pretty, wouldn't it? And maybe just put a couple of beads on there. And you know, you can mess with these the way they're going to hang in there. You want to kind of put them like that. I'm just, you know, trying to get something to give you guys an idea of what you can do. You know, obviously, you could put this one, maybe put just a button. Should not be a tough thing to do. Okay, there we go. You could put the little dangles that we make, all kinds of stuff on here, guys. Button's interesting because it's like These are all antique buttons. They're very old. This was from my mother's tin that was my grandmother's, so it's been around a while. So anyway, why is that not going the way it's supposed to? There we go. Oh, one more. Here we go. Let's see. That one's going this way. And on that, we can put 2 of these. Oh, dropped it. Okay. I'll just put that on there like that. All right, I'm just gonna leave it. You get the idea. Okay, guys, so here they are, and they're really cool. I mean, this one got some stuff on it. Okay, they just turned out really neat. Like I said, you can just do whatever it is you want to decorate them. I mean, you know, there's sky's the limit. I don't know, you know, what you want to do, but I have a couple more over here. This one has 2 dangles on it to make it more dangly. I think that's it. Oh wait, and here's the one that I did that was just in the brown. So it has just a little button on it. So anyway, guys, I don't know. I think it's kind of a fun thing to do, and they do turn out pretty good. They're not hard to make. You can see right through them. So I mean, it's pretty neat. So that's it. All right. See you next time. Hi. I just thought I'd pop on real quick to show you that I did do a couple of them in color so that you could see that you can do color. The only thing is that if you your vellum or your tracing paper, when you print with it, and you can do it with an inkjet printer, but you don't touch it, because the ink will smear. It stays wet longer, but eventually it does dry. It doesn't take long, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes at the most, and then you just do, all the steps are exactly the same. So I did that one, and then I did this one, and now these are older pictures and they don't have a lot of color in it, but color works just fine. So if you want to do, you know, color pictures. Anyway, and also I just wanted you to be able to see, I don't know if there's one in particular that you can tell. This one has a lot of white in the background. If you can just see how well you can see through those. So it really does make it look a lot like a negative. So anyway, that's why I had the candle out here, so you can see that. Okay, well, you guys take care. I just thought you may want to just see the ones in color and check it out. Okay, so you guys take care, and we'll see you again soon.